Well, welcome back to this week's study in the Sermon on the Mount. We begin actually a three-part study of the Lord's Prayer. So let's get right to it. Look with me now at Matthew 6, 9, and 10. This then is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Tony Evans has observed for many of us, prayer is like the national anthem before a football game. It gets the game started, but simply has no connection to what is happening on the field. It's a courtesy. It may be that too many believers share this sentiment, uh, but the Bible portrays prayer as something quite different. A view more aligned with what prayer should be is a song found in our Salvation Army songbook that says this: prayer is the soul's desire, uttered or unexpressed, the motion of a hidden fire that trembles in the breast. Prayer is a mystery. And it was in Jesus' day, and it is now. We often go to prayer with the best of intentions and end up in imaginary conversations with people that we're going to meet during the day, or making a grocery list, or who knows what. Our minds operate sometimes independently of our best of intentions. And it's kind of like slipping a car into neutral. It just rolls where it wants to go. And it's sometimes very frustrating, isn't it? When we try to pray, we want to be focused on God better, and yet we find our mind goes all sorts of places. No wonder good Jewish boys who had been raised since birth in the synagogue, approached Jesus, these disciples of his, and said, Lord, teach us to pray. Well, Jesus shared the model prayer with us. It guides us not only with content, with the path that is useful as we go before the Lord. Let's look at this by phrase. Our Father in heaven. This beautiful opening was unthinkably familiar in Jesus' day. The Aramaic word for father is Abba, and it is a word that really it corresponds to our English word for daddy. It was very familiar. And calling him Father, Jesus was not only bringing people closer to God uh, in their thinking, but revealing something about the character of God, that God wanted them um, to think of him not just as as some faraway uh, person, but like a father who wants to bring his child up on his lap and picks him up and holds that child and loves on that child. The father welcomes intimacy with his children, and that's how he thinks about you. But also, at the same time, Jesus wanted to remind them of God's transcendence. By that word transcendence, we mean that he is a God who has no beginning and no end, who occupies a space that we can only presently hear about. We can't even with the best of our moments of imagination begin to think about. Uh, we are locked in this single realm, but God moves in dimensions that are unknowable to anybody but himself. The years cannot bind him. The distance cannot restrict him in his movement. The volume of the universe cannot hide one fact from him. He knows everything about you, about everything. There's nothing that can be hidden from him, from his knowledge. Our Father in heaven, when we say that, it recognizes that he is both near and present where we cannot be. So it's a wonderful, wonderful description of both the nearness of God and that God is everywhere. Hallowed be your name is the next phrase. If we can catch our breath after thinking about both the nearness of God and his transcendence, his everywhereness, his all-knowingness, his boundless stance above time, his limitless power, we know that he's more than should be more than reverenced. If we could stand face to face, right before him, we wouldn't be like somebody looking at a movie star and saying, Here, give me your autograph. We wouldn't do something like that. We'd be more like Isaiah, we'd fall on our faces before him and say, "Woe is me, for I am undone, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I've come from a people of unclean lips." We would feel overwhelmed by his holiness. Holy is his name. He is altogether holy. And we would say, "Holy is your name. Holy are you." And that is what Jesus is saying. We should acknowledge that he is holy above all. The next phrase that we want to look at this week is, "Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." This is a reminder that God has a claim on this world of ours. It is true that the devil has been trying to compete with God here, but Satan has been and never will be more than a squatter. God owns a title deed of the earth, and in his appointed day, he will reassert his claim on every square inch of it. The kingdom will come. Oh, we long for that day, don't we? The kingdom fulfilled all on earth is also the kingdom fulfilled in us. When he comes to reign on this earth, we will not need to be concerned about hungering and thirsting after righteousness because it will be here. We will not have to be peacemakers because peace will reign. We will not be concerned with fulfilling the law because the law will be fulfilled. We will not have to worry about fighting with lust or with divorce or with the hate, all these things we've been talking about previously in the Sermon on the Mount, with the hate of our own or the hate directed at us, because that will all be settled. There will be no more issues of sideways justice or pretentious prayers. Our dear Lord will set it all right. The justice we crave, the honor we seek for our Master, the hope that propels us as we move forward will find their residence in the New Jerusalem. It is not just something out yonder in the someday. God's kingdom is at work right now. This is important to realize. It's not just when we talk about the second coming. God's work is, the kingdom has already begun right now. Every God honoring church, every Salvation Army Corps where his name is uplifted, is an outpost in enemy territory. Each spirit filled Christian is a soldier in the battle, fighting for the kingdom. To be sure, our enemy continues to lob volleys, and there are spies among us who undermine our unity, distract us from our priorities, and continue to batter and abuse us. But the kingdom shall come on earth as it is in heaven. That is more than wishful thinking. This is our destiny. The kingdom come is more real than anything we now call reality. This will disappear. This stuff we call reality now will disappear like a mist in the morning. But the kingdom of God will endure beyond the last flame of the sputters of our sun, because our God reigns. That is the promise that we find in this prayer. That is a promise that we can claim as we move forward. Think about that this week. It fills you with hope. God bless you.